Hi everyone, Mason Winfield again with another installment of Psi-Friday with Mason. We're on the last Friday in April 2026, and our discussion this week is going to be not quite so much paranormal as perhaps a little spiritual. If you believe there's anything beyond us and a point in tributing an old friend who has left us, then that's sort of what we're going to be about. This week's episode is entitled 3 Ships to Troy. It's a celebration of my dear late friend, Lydia Fish, the longtime folklore professor at SUNY Buffalo State. That was her career. And she was more than just a folklorist and an anthropologist. She was a very spiritual person, really alternative in a lot of ways. And most of my interaction with Lydia was the occasional dinner out. Lydia, eccentric as hell, lovely person, precious, exasperating, precious, but just a handful, you know. And she never drove a car, and she wanted to go out to dinner 6 nights a week, and had a rotating crew of friends, and they would always pick her up, take her there, and it'd take forever. And, you know, she'd walk real slow, and lovely, just lovely friend. She was also a storyteller, and she never made a big deal out of it, didn't pose, didn't pretend to be a storyteller. Oh, she passed away in January. I was standing in line at a bank on like a Tuesday afternoon in January, probably around 12:30 in the morning, afternoon, and a call came in from a friend who told me about it, and I almost stepped out of line. It was tough. Dear friend, you can only take her so much, but special. And one of the stories she told me was, Lydia, when she gave you a story, it wasn't a story she'd tell everybody. It was your story. It was something you were going to get. And Lydia knew of my interest in the Greco-Roman culture. She knew of my classics background. And she knew that the story, 3 Ships to Troy, would really resonate with me. And Greece preserves its history quite well. The United States, we have kids who graduate high school and don't know what the Civil War was. That's going to come back and bite us if we in the United States don't do something about that. It's going to bite us in ways that are going to be hard to explain to people who don't get it anyway. But so there's this conference in Greece, and it's on one of the islands. And there's a bunch of really important people hanging around at this conference. And one thing I need to tell you before we begin this tale is that in the epic poem, the Iliad by Homer, written maybe 3,000 years ago, nobody knows for sure, there's this one baffling chapter that's a list of things. All epics do that. There's this catalog chapter, and it bores everybody. Why do they do it? I don't know. But this one is a list of the Greek cities that sent ships to Troy. It's 3,000 years old. And there's a catalog of the ships, and Athens sent this many, and Messene sent this many, and Sparta sent this many, so whatever. So there's this conference. American businessman representing the United States falls into conversation in this tiny Greek island with a little Greek guy who doesn't look like a famous person. And the Texan happens to ask him, "What are you doing here?" And the little Greek guy goes, "Well, I'm the mayor of this town." Texan goes, "Well, what's the town?" You know, and he goes, "Well, it's a little town called Symi." And the American goes, "Never heard of it." And the little Greek guy goes, "We sent 3 ships to Troy." And the fact that that this history, that this legend, this prehistory was remembered and treasured by this little village, memorialized in one of the greatest works of human literature, the Iliad of Homer. It just made a deep impact on me. And I realized that my friend Lydia made that kind of an impact on a lot of people, preserving history, preserving spirituality. You know, I don't usually keep the phone by my bed, but for some reason, a day or two after Lydia passed away, my cell phone ended up next to my bed, and I woke up in the morning to a text from Kevin Cunningham, a martial artist, Orchard Park, New York, a great teacher. And Kevin had known Lydia, and he recalled her gift as a storyteller, and it really reminded me that this was a significant feature of her. And you know, when Jan Hammer, the superb experimental keyboardist who used to partner with the guitarist Jeff Beck, when Jan Hammer was told that Jeff Beck had passed away, his remark was simply, you know, that he was just so sad that the magic of their partnership would be over for this life. And I remember those dinners with Lydia, and I'm sad that that magic is gone from my life. But thank you, Lydia. 3 ships to Troy. See you next week on May Eve.